Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Content Classroom. Today, I'm going to tell you all about why you should be already creating your own podcast for your B2B business. A lot of people consider podcasts and they get very excited about the idea, but they never actually make it into fruition. Other people just fail to understand the whole point of podcasts. The critical thing to remember about having your own podcast is that it's not about reaching millions and millions of people. It's not about the thousands of views that you hope you might get. It's not about being in the top 1% of podcasts. If you can achieve all of that, that's brilliant. That's not the point of having your own podcast. Point in case, I wanted, after doing podcasts for various businesses for 5 or 6 years, I wanted to launch a proper podcast for myself. I wanted to do things right and experiment with it and flesh out my offering to my own clients who in turn have their own podcast, to see it from their perspective as something more than just a hobby podcast, which is what a lot of us start off with. And by the way, I fully enthuse on starting your own hobby podcast. I think it's brilliant fun. It teaches you a lot. Just don't let it take over your work life or your family life. There's a balance in the middle. You've got to have the time to do it. But having started Market Pulse, and we're now up to, I think, episode 30 or thereabouts, we're really starting to hit our stride now on getting people approaching us to be guests on the show. We've got partners lined up to help promote the show. We're really starting to take it to the next level. And every week it gets just a little bit better. But what are the important impacts that I've achieved with podcasting, especially Market Pulse? What are the important things that I've achieved with Market Pulse? Edit. What are the important things that I've achieved through having Market Pulse podcast? This is the critical bit that everybody misses. It's not about those views. It's about connecting you with people in your target audience or target partner network and helping you cross-pollinate with each other. Now, I remember when I first started Javelin out, I wanted to reach out to digital marketing agencies and digital marketing experts and just suggest that we might be a good referral partner for them. That when they get work in, we could be doing videos for some of their clients where they maybe want to focus on website design, or they maybe want to focus on social media copy, but they don't have the content to go with it. And I thought that makes brilliant sense, and it still does. But when I reached out to people, I got crickets back. Didn't want to know, because they didn't want the cold outreach. They didn't want me in their inbox because I wasn't offering anything of value to them. They knew the value was really to me. And whilst that might be a bit short-sighted, that is the way that a lot of people think and feel. So when I created Market Pulse, I wanted to create something that would achieve various things. And first of all, foremost, I'm not a marketer or a salesperson. So I wanted to help upskill my own knowledge by talking with experts in the field. And I've done this before in another industry, where I can lend their opinions, their credibility, their experience and their knowledge. And I can throw that into other conversations because then it becomes part of my knowledge and understanding. So talk with people who are interested in your field, that you are passionate about, that you want to know more about. That's the start point. But by doing that and by giving them that free publicity, you create reciprocity. And there's a real opportunity then to have them promote your podcast. Not everybody's going to promote your podcast. Some people just want to come on, they do lots of podcasts, they don't have the time or the interest or the inclination to cross-promote you, which is fine, that happens. But for a lot of others, especially smaller businesses, it's a really good way of helping them promote themselves as well in their own business. Look how credible I am. I'm on this podcast and that podcast, and we're doing really well. So make it easy for them. And if you can help them promote their own episode, you can give them clips, create a few social media clips for them to use, create some graphics, then it's going to make it much easier. Send them an email that tells them how to do it, what you're going to do. There's various ways you can promote that episode. But what happens is when they promote that episode and they tag you in it, you get access to their audience. They get access to your audience, and everybody has more opportunities to find customers. The second impact is that whilst you're setting up that podcast, you're probably going to have a conversation with them, whether it's 30 minutes up front to figure out whether they're a good guest, whether a good fit, or whether you're a good podcast for them. But you might also just have 10, 15 minutes before the actual recording or after the recording to just be a bit more personable and informal. And I find that it's a really good moment to figure out whether there is opportunity for you to collaborate in the future. And already I've picked up 3 or 4 new clients from being guests on the show. I've got some fantastic partners lined up where we're going to start working together in September, October time when this newsletter goes out. And it really is an opportunity for me to create extra opportunities for the business. So yes, it's a lot of work at times. Yes, it can seem like a distraction, and you've got to be very focused, passionate about what you do. Otherwise, you'll stop doing it, because if you're not passionate, you're not enjoying it, it's not fun, you'll be able to tell your content will fall flat, and actually just people won't care anymore. So make sure it's about something you enjoy. Make sure there's enough enthusiasm within you to be able to keep going through the down times when you're getting like 5 downloads and 10 views and things. Like, it happens. People think podcasts just magically turn into these killer overnight successes, and they don't, is the sad truth. Without a lot of money behind them, a lot of paid media, which most people can't afford, or an influencer or a celebrity behind it, you're not going to get that sort of traction. And certainly in B2B, there's a big difference there. So if you want to create more leads and business and have good partnership conversations, upskill yourself, have fun while you're doing it, podcasting is a great way to move forward. And it creates a ton of content that you can use for your own business. If you're anything like me, you'll be able to not just create clips for the show, but take out the bits where you're talking to the guest, single in on that one video of you on the screen, and showcase yourself in your own LinkedIn feed. And before it, you've done one podcast, but you've created content for both the podcast, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn channel, maybe Facebook, whatever. It's very versatile in how you can use it. I'm going to put the links in the comments below for some newsletters that we've already released in the past that kind of show you through the process of setting up your own podcast and how you can do it quickly and easily. We're also going to go back and revisit that series and add some extra bolt-ons to it, do a bit more depth and detail. So if you're interested and you're not seeing this in your own, if you're not subscribed, you're not already registered for our newsletter, please do subscribe. The link's down there. We'll drop this in every week. And I'm not saying we're going to do podcasting every week, but it certainly is, I think, a big part of what everybody should have in the bag for their B2B business if they want to create a lot of traction and have that, what I call a puffer fish effect of seeming like a bigger business than what you actually are. My only proviso with starting your own podcast, and please do take this the right way, you need to have a clear vision of how you want to start out and what you want to be doing at the beginning versus where you go, and a plan for how you get there in terms of how much content you're going to generate. Because one of the pitfalls of podcasting is it's very easy to try and do everything and burn yourself out. So start small. Make sure you're recording the video and the audio. You don't need to use the video at the beginning. Just go out audio, get yourself established, figure it out, then start to use the video as things go on. Look forward to seeing you in the feed, and I will see you next week on Content Classroom. Bye-bye.